I think what changed in me recently is coming to the realization that I spent years, almost 15 at that, helping build something that isn't mine. And I think I'm just done with that, you know? This week and last week has felt really surreal. Um, I feel like my whole life is trying to pivot and I'm trying to still figure out in what direction really. I've had recruiters trying to get a hold of me. I had a startup conversation with someone who wanted my input. Like different opportunities are starting to suddenly appear, but instead of being excited, I'm feeling kind of disconnected from it, and it's weird. Like I thought that I would be more happy about it, but I'm realizing that I don't know. Um, I feel like I'm getting back to a point where I was maybe like a year or two ago. Actually, probably before I had my daughter. I felt like I was getting to this point, but then it got sidetracked because I was so busy trying to just survive motherhood and solo parenting in general. And now that I'm in like I would say I'm not in survival mode at the moment, so I'm kind of like been reflecting a lot lately and just trying to figure out like I said in my last episode, I'm trying to just figure out what I want. What do I want? What do I want out of life and how do I want my day to day to look like? And man, the energy like this week and last week has been very eye opening for myself in lots of ways, like not even just career wise, like family wise, and what I want for me and my daughter. I feel like mentally I'm just wanting different things. And what might have once excited me a year, 2, 3 years ago is just not exciting anymore. The whole proving myself and feeling like I got to do all this extra just to prove it. I don't know. I'm not here for it anymore. I moved to help another area and I felt like I was constantly like overextending myself, helping everyone, being very flexible, and like I was chasing recognition even when I didn't realize that I was. And I'm like, why am I trying to prove my value so like hard right now? How is any of this benefiting me? And I just kept doing more, doing more. Why? Oh my gosh. And that's not a place or a space that I want to be in. And what's funny is I feel like sometimes the universe will put you in a position to test you in a way, test your boundaries and see if you're still like holding strong on them and like doing what you said you were going to be doing. And I wasn't. I definitely wasn't. I did not pass this test because in the end, I'm the one that felt burnt out, empty handed, and just used pretty much. Now, I'm not saying that that was the intentions at all, but I can't say that I did not mentally feel burnt out from overextending myself. Yeah. When you're already a parent, you already are exerting yourself when you have to work. But then when you're a solo parent and then working full time and then doing anything out of the norm of your scope of work that than what you're used to, you're going to be mentally exhausted at the end of the day. And I was mentally exhausted every day for how long I was. It was 7 months that I had to do that for. Yeah. I was starting to feel like I wasn't valued and I felt like I needed to do more to prove myself. And in the end, I just ended up more disappointed. If I would have just like not have been in my ego, since my ego was bruised for reasons, sometimes like not everything's for you and that's okay. You know what I mean? Like sometimes everything is not for you. And when I really now sit and think about what I was trying to get to, I would have just been adding more stress to myself. And so that's why I'm like sitting back and I'm just like kind of laughing at myself because I'm just like, you silly girl. What are you doing? You know, like, you silly girl, sit down. Like, you don't even really want that. Now you're now you're just working from ego because now you're just trying to do it to prove a point. Come on, girl. You know, like humble yourself. And so today I had to really sit and think about that and humble myself. Cuz sometimes it's not even about that you can't do it, that you're not talented, that you don't have the experience, that you don't it's not even about that. Yes, I can go, for that job and have the interview, although I suck at interviews, I'm not gonna lie. I have the experience, well, overly qualified for it, but that's not the point. Why would I add more stress to myself when I already, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we gotta stop operating out of our ego. And others might be operating from there, but you know what? That's their journey, not mine. I told myself that that was one thing that I really wanted to work on. Um, and it's easy to do. Oh man, sometimes you don't even realize it until you really just sit and be like, "Well, why do I even want this? Do I even really want this? Or now am I just doing it to prove a point? What? Operating out of ego. Come on now." It just started to feel like a performance in a way. Interviews feel performative. Networking feels performative. Selling yourself constantly is just exhausting. Like, why am I doing this? When I could be saving all this energy to do the things that I actually love to do, which is create, which is, you know, get on the mic and speak my experience and my thoughts, draw, paint. There's so much that I could be doing with the energy that I've been putting in elsewhere. My podcast is one of the only places where I don't feel like I'm performing. Like you get raw emotions in like what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, what I'm growing through, what I'm learning about myself. And it just feels like freeing to just speak freely and not doing it because I feel like I need to perform or I need to do it for any sort of recognition or anything like that. It's like I genuinely this helps me, you know. Creating has always felt natural too. That's something I've been doing since I was a young kid, since I was in high school. I always had a journal around. I was always writing, drawing, doodling. Like this is all down my alley. This is my lane. But I just I'm realizing that promotions aren't always upgrades. Getting that new job title isn't always an upgrade. Like you're paying in some way. Yeah, maybe okay, you're getting paid a little bit more, but what are you losing? Is the job more stressful now? Is there a commute, a longer drive, sitting in traffic, so less time with your family, less time to make dinner, less mental capacity for when you get off work and you have to, tap in with your family? Like you're losing something sometimes. Maybe not always, but you know, quality of life. That's something that we're all trying to improve. We all want a better quality of life. And I just think sometimes chasing a title, chasing a couple dollars or whatever the case may be. It doesn't mean it's going to be better. And especially with me and solo parenting, like I have to really be careful. Like an extra 20, 30 minutes of my drive is 20, 30 minutes less with my daughter. That adds up over time. And then I'm more tired, which means then I'm not playing with my daughter. Then I'm not, there's just things that I really just am like, okay, I kind of see it now before it gets to that point. Let me make sure I'm not pivoting in a direction that I'm going to regret in the long run. Sometimes less is actually more. Like I know that's kind of cliche to say, but I don't want to build my entire life around work. And I felt myself going in that direction once again. Well, let me get this cert and get that cert. And if I get this cert, then maybe I'll qualify over here. And if I work extra hard and more hours and overtime, and if I do this and if I do that, then maybe I'll get recognized and maybe they'll see and maybe. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't need to give more of myself when I've already given almost 15 years. Yes, I will always do a good job. That's just me. I have great work ethics. You know, that's just bound to happen. But to overexert myself and overexhaust myself, and no, I need to save that energy to build something that I want to build, something that's actually going to fill my cup. And that's where Blooming After Dark comes into play. It's my Instagram page, blooming underscore after dark. It's its own vibe, you know? Me in the creative mode again and how that looks this time around is different. So I'm not quitting everything. I'm not quitting my job. I'm not like doing nothing, I'm not saying that's crazy because hey, it works for some people, so I don't want to call it crazy, but that's just not what I can do in the first place. I'm just investing into me and what it is that makes me happy and what it is that fills my cup. So whether that's writing, editing, podcasting, you know, blooming after dark, creating posts, possibly building a second stream of income over time. I mean, I'm just keeping my options open on the creative side where it's like I never fully allow myself to. So it's like I'm not trying to escape this side of me. I hide a lot. I notice that I hide a lot when it comes to this side of me, but I'm reaching a point too. I don't, and it could just be age. I don't know if that's what it is as well, but this point in my journey is like I'm not trying to hide from myself. There's parts of me that are literally just me, and it's like, you know how they say like if something's meant for you or if it's your thing, it's just going to keep coming back around and it's just going to get louder and louder and louder until you just finally accept the fact that that's what it is. And I think I've just reached a point where it's like, okay, so I still reach for the pen. I still reach for my journal. I still reach for photography at times. I still reach for just doing random creative things because it comes in so many forms. So maybe success isn't about climbing higher into exhaustion. Maybe it's finally building a life that feels like yours. I spent years helping build systems for other people, and I think it's just finally time that I build one for myself.